All right, this is Guy Eagle with you again from the Renewable Wisdom Trails Cosmology and Library, and we're continue our discussions on some of the things that we've learned from our research over the years and from just our experiences. And when I say we, I may be the person talking here, but there's other people around.
Hi, everyone.
And there are the ancestors of the first circle, which we've covered quite a bit. But just to review, we have the ancestors of the color of fire that gives us color. And we have the mineral world, which is sands and clays and loams. We have the gems, the rocks and stones. We have the crystals. We have the plant ancestors, the grasses, the grains, the fruits, the vegetables, the shrubs, the trees. And we have the animal world, the winged ones, the swimmers, the crawlers, the four-leggeds, the two-leggeds. So there's a lot of things that we're speaking about when we say ancestors, and there's a lot of things we're talking about when we say elders. Because in our thinking, those parts of the first circle had been around a lot longer than humans. And so they are our elders. They're the ones that are buried in the soil that are creating life for the rest of us to exist. Now, one of the questions that came out last night when we were sitting around decompressing from the day was, why now? Why is this information coming out now? And maybe even more specifically, why me in this case? I've heard a lot of teachers speak to this over the years, and there's been markers where different groups have released the knowledge that they've gathered. The harmonic convergence of 1987 was a marker. The end of the Mayan calendar in 2012, where Venus and Earth lined up to Pleiades, was another marker where a bunch of people released their books of knowledge. And for me, I personally, in the work I've been doing, I wasn't ready yet. We were just really starting to decode a lot of the information, or we had just really gotten to the point where we understood the information so that we could decode it and see where the compilations of knowledge had leaned away from nature in favor of the human species. So we really had to put ourselves into that study and work it for a while. Somewhere along the line, I got a letter here that is circulating in the group. It was from the World Peace Summit that was in the year 2000. It was sponsored by the United Nations. There was a letter sent to Francis Cree and inviting him as a spiritual leader to attend this. And this gathering was of religious and spiritual leaders from all over the world. And the purpose, as he told us, was that these books of knowledge were going to be released in the coming years. And if the human species didn't really get on to starting to live in more harmony with the natural world, that all these global events are going to begin. I've got a friend, Saba, here for all of you that are out there. And she likes to sit on my foot. Anyway, we were at a ceremony in the Eternal Mountains that year. We call it a Sundance, and I'm not going to go into what a Sundance is because it's different for every tribe and for different purposes. But it's a 10-day experience, more like 2 weeks experience, and it lasts a lifetime. So I figure my release of this knowledge at this point is really my finishing my Sundance from 25 years ago. So the visions I received during that ceremony are still completing themselves, is what I'm going to say. Well, as we were preparing, Francis brought out this letter from the world from the United Nations, inviting him to attend, and that these books of knowledge were going to be released if things didn't shake up or wake up. He also brought out a copy of the American Indian Religious Act of 1977 or 78, and showed us, how long their people had been repressed and why they're so reluctant to share their knowledge with other folks. And it's got a long history of colonization and so forth, and all the reasons are valid, except for the fact that Mother Nature is suffering so bad right now. If we hold on to what we know, we're not serving anybody but ourselves. Then that's really an ego identity that we have to challenge. So anyway, my journey really kicked in around 2000, where I was dancing without food and water for 4 days and received these instructions from the ancestral world. Sometimes I'm asked questions about, how do you know it's from the ancestral world? Well, that's the interesting thing, is you do know. You just know. And it doesn't change. Usually the message or the awareness is fierce and kind at the same time. It's got both qualities to it. It's kind, like it's not malicious, and it's very direct in short sentences, so it doesn't mix words with trying to explain something. It's just boom. It's right there. You can almost bet you're getting a pretty high-ranking spirit elder when that happens, if there is a ranking system. So I'm not trying to say there is, I'm just giving that as a flavor for you to understand. So we come to this time where science is revealing things about what's going on in the world with climate change. The EPA has been doing numerous studies of how long our fresh water will hold out at this rate of expansion, population expansion, and it's not long. They've moved that marker. It once was 2025, now it's in 32 or 2032 or 35. They say the human population will be out of fresh water. Good. I don't know about all that. I just know what's in my heart, that I can't drink out of a stream without getting sick. I can't swim in a lake without getting sick or being exposed to something. You can't eat the fish in the Mississippi River, which is one of the main arteries of North America. They say you can't eat the fish on the Ohio River, which is another big artery. Missouri River, Colorado may not be far behind. I don't know. I can't answer those questions, and I'm not intending to. I'm just saying we have to pay attention to it, and for us, our calling and our ability to try to contribute to try to awaken everybody is being done by releasing our knowledge. We're going to take that risk. We're going to go through the scrutiny of the knowledge. We're going to take those risks and do what we can to change how we've created this reality around the world. I think the challenge is for everybody to be accountable in some way. That is by having groups, having discussions, having debates, having arguments. Whatever it is, get it out of your system and don't keep it a secret. That's the only way we're going to raise consciousness and start to work through the deeper details of where the problems are. What I am told is that we're at a threshold on the planet, and planet Earth. The Earth will survive, but humans may not. there's other species as well. They're all up for, choice whether they're going to go extinct or not, because if there's no water, how are they going to survive? If the water is so polluted, how are they going to survive? I mean, that is a question you have to ask. You may not have the answer, but you still need to ask. How are the animals going to survive? How are the trees going to survive? How are we going to grow food if there's no water? Anyway, that's why now. Releasing the knowledge, we got to do something about it. We don't want to tell our grandchildren, if we even get to have them or see them, what we did when there was a problem. Did we do something about it, or do we sit back and watch it? I don't want to be one to sit back and say I did nothing. That's my personal opinion anyway. Anyway, might be something to it. I hope.